All right, I've got one last one. I can't help myself. I am a avid runner, and I know like when the going gets tough, there's a mantra that I'm going to pull from, and many people pull the mantra that works for them when they're down. I ran 100 miler about 9 months ago, and my mantra was be present, because the only thing I could control at that moment was being in the moment. Like if I looked too far ahead, I'd get very depressed. If I looked at how far I'd come and how far I'd have to go, it was energy draining. So I'm curious, coming into the IT Nation, which is a bit of its own big event, can we go out on what is one mantra that you might encourage people to think about going into this event?
Marty, you want to kick that off?
Well, my first thought is who chased you 101 miles? Because literally, like, I'm not running 100 unless I'm being chased, right? So there's the whole is a marathon, not
Beat
a
the
sprint.
Beat the bear.
I was
Yes.
gonna say, some days you're the windshield, some days you're the dog, darn, I don't know. Like as a mantra. And I have to, like, if you hadn't asked a mantra specifically, I'd have a whole slew of quotes.
Or phrase of energy, like something that like.
I'll start.
Yeah.
I've been using it for all my clients basically know this at this point. It's plastered on my website. It's dare to suck.
I was gonna say, I know what yours is, but I at least didn't step on you this time, Kyle.
It's all good. There's that level, I think, sometimes with, a lot of talk of imposter syndrome, and there's a lot of talk of Icarus syndrome. And I think sometimes we need to give ourselves permission to fail. I think we need to give ourselves permission to be bold in the sense of, there is no results. There is no expectation. I want to try this because I want to try this, right? I want to introduce myself to someone new just because I want to. And it doesn't matter if it goes anywhere or nowhere, right? In sales, sometimes you hear yes lives in a sea of no's. But at the same time, right, rising tides raise all ships. So if we're all there to be vulnerable and we give ourselves permission to be vulnerable, then we're able to achieve great things. So for me, it's been dare to suck. It will always be dare to suck. And just like you, Russell, I'm also an endurance athlete. And there's been many times at hour 5, 6, 7 where you do just you gotta be okay with where you are.
Yeah. Dare to suck. I love it. Anybody else? These are great.
Yeah. So my whole thing is like, believe it or not, I'm extremely introverted. And I know anybody that sees me on hundreds of podcasts and live streams and all that stuff in the events, find it hard to believe. Even my DJ career, like I dreaded getting in front of the mic. I dreaded going on stage, talking in front of people. And to this day, I cannot do an event where I'm not dreading it up until I get there. But I always say the same thing in my head. Let's make some memories. Because I know after the fact, after all that chaos and fear and all that stuff is gone and you do the event, you have these amazing memories after. I mean, I still remember meeting Marty and Alex to this day. We threw an event at IT Nation at the Rocks Bar, and I didn't know if anybody was going to show up. And I met so many amazing people afterward. And, I was just, and I don't know about anybody else, but like before I go out, I always get like a little bit nervous and find 1,000 reasons to say, no, I'd rather just stay home. But I just keep it in my head, let's make some memories. And the stories afterward are always worth it every single time.
Ray, I'm a little on the similar lines. I have a little different twist to it. No, I won't share.
oh my gosh! How can you not?
Stay tuned for next week's episode.
What a tease.
So the thing that I run through my head when I get in a similar situation as you, Ray, like big crowds, whatever. Like it's I'm only doing it for the story. So like Ray said, right, make good memories. I'm only doing it for the story. Now that can be taken a bunch of different ways. I'm doing it for, in Ray's case, the memory, and in my case, the story, because the story is what connects the people. I'm only doing it for the story.
Thanks.
So kind of follow up on that. What mine is, and I've kind of lived, I don't think once I got out of college, this was like my mantra for the rest of my life. And it's a quote from Bill Nye of all people, but everyone you will meet knows something you don't. And that's been key to me. And it helps me stay humble. And I'll talk to literally anyone about anything because I'm always trying to learn something new every day. It goes a long way, especially at an IT conference. Like, it's gold mine for information. Yeah.
Ty, I love that.
Me too.
So for me, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And this
Mm.
translates real well to IT Nation because you don't need to talk to all the vendors on that first welcome reception. You're not going to become an expert on a topic or a tool that you're learning about after the first conversation. You don't need to have all the fun on the first night. Take your time, trust the process.